Roald Dahl's revolting rhyme. Jack and the Beanstalk. Jack's mother said,
"Here's Stony Brook. Go out and find some wealthy bloke who'll buy our cow. Just say she's sound and worth at least £100, but don't you dare to let him know that she's as old as Billy-O."
Jack led the old brown cow away and came back later in the day and said,
"Oh, Mumsy dear, guess what your clever little boy has got? I really don't know how, a super trade-in for our cow."
The mother said,
"You little creep, I'll bet you sold her much too cheap."
When Jack produced one lousy bean, his startled mother, turning green, leaped high into the air and cried,
"I'm absolutely stupefied. You crazy boy, do you really mean you sold our Daisy for a bean?"
She snatched the bean. She yelled,
"You chump!"
and flung it on the rubbish dump. Then, summoning up all her power, she beat the boy for half an hour, using, and nothing could be meaner, the handle of a vacuum cleaner. At 10 p.m. or thereabout, the little bean began to sprout. By morning it had grown so tall you couldn't see the top at all. Young Jack cried,
"Mum, admit it now. It's better than a rotten cow."
The mother said,
"You lunatic! Where are the beans that I can pick? There's not one bean. It's bare as bare." No,
cried Jack.
"You look up there. Look very high, and you'll behold each single leaf is solid gold."
By gollykins, the boy was right. Now, glistening in the morning light, the mother actually perceives a mass of lovely golden leaves. She yells out loud,
"My sainted souls! I'll sell the Minnie, buy her rolls. Don't stand and gape, you little clot. Get up there quick and grab the lot."
Jack was nimble, Jack was keen. He scrambled up the mighty bean. Up he went without a stop, but just as he was near the top, a ghastly, frightening thing occurred. Not far above his head he heard a big, deep voice, a rumbling thing that made the very heavens ring. It shouted loud, "Fee, fi, fo, fum, I smell the blood of an Englishman." Jack was frightened, Jack was quick, and down he climbed in half a tick.
"Oh, Mum,"
he gasped.
"believe you me, there's something nasty up our tree. I saw him, Mum. My gizzard froze. A giant with a clever nose." "A clever nose?"
his mother hissed.
"You must be going round the twist." "He smelled me out, I swear it, Mum. He said he smelled an Englishman."
The mother said,
"And well he might. I've told you every single night to take a bath because you smell, but would you do it? Would you, hell? You even make your mother shrink because of your unholy stink."
Jack answered,
"Well, if you're so clean, why don't you climb the crazy bean?"
The mother cried.
"By gad, I will. There's life within the old dog still."
She hitched her skirts above her knee and disappeared right up the tree. Now, would the giant smell his mum? Jack listened for the fee-fo-fum. He gazed aloft, he wondered when the dreaded words would come. And then, from somewhere high above the ground, there came a frightful crunching sound. He heard the giant mutter twice, "By gosh, that tasted very nice. Although," and this in grumpy tones, "I wish there weren't so many bones."
"By Christopher,"
Jack cried.
"by gum, the giant's eaten up my mum. He smelled her out. She's in his belly. I had a hunch that she was smelly."
Jack stood there gazing longingly upon the huge and golden tree. He muttered softly,
"Golly gosh, I guess I'll have to take a wash if I'm going to climb this tree without the giant smelling me. In fact, a bath's my only hope."
He rushed indoors and grabbed the soap. He scrubbed his body everywhere. He even washed and rinsed his hair. He did his teeth, he blew his nose, and went out smelling like a rose. Once more he climbed the mighty bean. The giant sat there, gross, obscene, muttering through his vicious teeth, while Jack sat tensely just beneath, muttering loud, "Fee, fi, fo, fum. Right now I can't smell anyone." Jack waited till the giant slept. Then out along the boughs he crept, and gathered so much gold I swear he was an instant millionaire.
A bath
He said,
does seem to pay. I'm going to have one every day.
Roald Dahl's revolting rhyme.
Little Red Riding Hood and the Wolf. As soon as Wolf began to feel that he would like a decent meal, he went and knocked on Grandma's door. When Grandma opened it, she saw the sharp white teeth, the horrid grin, and Wolfie said,
"May I come in?"
Poor Grandmama was terrified. "He's going to eat me up," she cried. And she was absolutely right. He ate her up in one big bite. But Grandmama was small and tough, and Wolfie wailed,
"That's not enough. I haven't yet begun to feel that I have had a decent meal.
He ran around the kitchen yelping,
I got to have another helping.
then added with a frightful leer,
I'm therefore going to wait right here till little Miss Red Riding Hood comes home from walking in the wood."
He quickly put on Grandma's clothes. Of course he hadn't eaten those. He dressed himself in coat and hat, he put on shoes, and after that he even brushed and curled his hair, then sat himself in Grandma's chair. In came the little girl in red. She stopped. She stared. And then she said, "What great big ears you have, Grandma,"
All the better to hear you with.
the wolf replied. "What great big eyes you have, Grandma," said Little Red Riding Hood.
All the better to see you with.
The wolf replied. He sat there watching her and smiled. He thought,
I'm going to eat this child. Compared with her old grandmama, she's going to taste like caviar.
Then Little Red Riding Hood said, "But Grandma, what a lovely great big furry coat you have on,"
That's wrong!
cried Wolf.
Have you forgot to tell me what big teeth I've got? Ah, well, no matter what you say, I'm going to eat you anyway.
The small girl smiles. One eyelid flickers. She whips a pistol from her knickers. She aims it at the creature's head, and bang, 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 she shoots him dead. A few weeks later, in the wood, I came across Miss Riding Hood. But what a change! No cloak of red, no silly hood upon her head. She said, "Hello, and do please note my lovely furry wolf-skin coat." The Tummy Beast. One afternoon I said to Mummy, "Who is this person in my tummy? He must be small and very thin, or how could he have gotten in?" My mother said from where she sat, "It isn't nice to talk like that." "It's true," I cried. "I swear it, Mummy. There is a person in my tummy. He talks to me at night in bed. He's always asking to be fed. Throughout the day he screams at me, demanding sugar buns for tea. He tells me it is not a sin to go and raid the biscuit tin. I know quite well it's awfully wrong to guzzle food the whole day long, but really I can't help it, Mummy, not with this person in my tummy." "You horrid child," my mother cried. "Admit it right away, you've lied. You're simply trying to produce a silly, asinine excuse. You are the greedy, guzzling brat, and that is why you're always fat." I tried once more. "Believe me, Mummy, there is a person in my tummy." "I've had enough," my mother said. "You'd better go at once to bed." Just then, a nicely timed event delivered me from punishment. Deep in my tummy, something stirred, and then an awful noise was heard. A snorting, grumbling, grunting sound that made my tummy jump around. My darling mother nearly died. "My goodness, what was that?" she cried. At once the tummy voice came through. It shouted, "Hey there, listen you. I'm getting hungry. I want eats. I want lots of chocks and sweets. Get me half a pound of nuts. Look, Snappy, or I'll twist your guts.
That's him, I cried. He's in my tummy. So now do you believe me, Mummy? But Mummy answered nothing more, for she had fainted on the floor.